I'm Joel Pickford, and I'm a documentary photographer, writer, and filmmaker based in the Central Valley of California. Most of my projects focus on cultures. Soul Calling is really a chronicle of my personal journey in the Hmong diaspora. I wanted to tell this story because the Hmong are one of the most poorly understood immigrant groups we have in America. There's a lot of talk these days about whether it's appropriate for someone who's a cultural outsider to go into a culture and do a documentary, or to do ethnographic field work, or other kinds of social science work. I've had a Hmong photographer say to me, looking at the pictures, well, they wouldn't let me shoot all that stuff, talking about funerals and ceremonies and weddings and all the things that I've been lucky to be able to photograph and been invited to photograph. The cultural outsider is a very important perspective because the cultural outsider sees things that the insider doesn't see. The insider is bound by rules and relationships and kind of built-in attitudes and prejudices. The outsider comes in more or less a blank slate, and I think there's some somewhat misguided sentiment out there that it's really sort of not okay. I think we need to do this for one thing because we need to know about each other. People need to cross borders and find out about people. And so I wanted Californians to really understand who these people are, because Californians often have very bad attitudes about them. Second, I really wanted to tell the story of what our government did secretly without our own knowledge during that time. And even though it's public knowledge now, there are a lot of Americans who really don't know about the CIA's secret war from 1961 to 75 in Laos, in which these Hmong hill tribe people were conscripted to fight against North Vietnamese and Laotian communists and to disrupt the North Vietnamese supply lines and communications along the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Americans often lump them together with Vietnamese, with Cambodians, with other refugees of the Second Indochina War that we know familiarly as the Vietnam War. And really, they're very different culturally. The Hmong believe that if illness befalls you, or if you have bad domestic problems at home, even a business setback, it could be because that one or more of your souls have wandered away from your body and gotten lost, or that they've been kidnapped by the Da. And the Da are spirits who can be either good or bad depending upon circumstances. The Hmong have an animist belief system, meaning that they don't believe in deities. They believe in spirits that are present everywhere. And those spirits are very connected with ancestors. In fact, when you die within the Hmong belief system, you ultimately become a part of those ancestor spirits. And then many, many years later, you're reborn again in this life. So the shaman's job, when somebody has lost their soul, the shaman's job is to call the soul back. At a deeper level, I think this project's really about what is the nature of culture. How do we come together as groups of people and create a way of life that works more or less for all of us? And how do different people do that in different sets of circumstances, different geographical situations around the world?